Hi, everyone, and welcome to today's live IELTS class. Students, YouTube is running a new system, so can you hear me and see me okay? Hi, Rahul. Hi, Syed. Hi, Kisi. Hi, Begzod. Can you see me right now? Can you hear me okay? YouTube has a new interface for live streaming, so I just want to make sure that everything is fantastic on your end. Okay, great. Thank you for that feedback. Yeah, YouTube's doing some major changes to the interface for YouTubers. So we're doing that. Okay, great. Thank you. All right, students. So today, this first class is IELTS Writing Task 2. It's for members. And afterwards, we will have a class that's open for everybody to chat, which will be IELTS reading. Thank you, Syed, for letting me know that you can hear me well. That means much. It's important. Okay, great. So we will get into it pretty quick here, members. As usual, our materials do come from our website. So for everybody watching, to join our premium package, check us out at aehelp.com for academic IELTS. And for general IELTS, check us out at gieltshelp.com, where we have lots of great materials to help you get ready for the exam. 6 practice exams, fully interactive course, over 100 hours of video lessons. Of course, members, you get access to those practice exams, so make sure that you contact me, members, if you don't have that. All right, if you have questions about our products or comments, just let me know. You can send me an email at adrian@aehelp.com, so you can contact me there. And these lessons are according to Central European Time, 1:30 to 2:30 in the afternoon for members chat classes, and 3 to 4 o'clock for everybody chat classes. So again, today, task 2, we're going to complete what we started last week. Then some reading strategy. And then tomorrow, we will have a speaking part 1 for members, and then a listening strategy for everyone to participate. On Saturday, members still waiting on some requests, so send me your requests to my email, and then we'll do a task 2 writing for everybody. Okay, so members, do you remember what we did last week with task 2? Does anybody remember the question? Here's a little refresher. Let's take a look. All right, so IELTS writing task 2, you should spend about 40 minutes on this task. Many people around the world consume an excessive amount of refined sugar in their daily diet. What has led to this situation? What are the consequences and possible solutions? Hopefully that rings a bell for some members. Does everybody remember this task 2 start from last week? Yes? No? All right, here's the paraphrase of that question for more clarity. A lot of individuals globally eat too much sugar in their everyday nutrition. What created this scenario? What are the negative results and possible remedies? All right. And then write at least 250 words. So we did our planning. I'm just going through this quickly, members, just to give you a refresher. And if some students don't remember this, then, or if you're new, then it's good to kind of catch up. Salim, you may have completed this essay, which is fine. That's great. But I haven't, and I'm going to complete this essay with you today so that you can see that band 9 level response all the way from the introduction through body paragraph 1 and 2 to the conclusion. Okay? So that's the goal here. All right. What created the situation for eating a lot of sugar? Sugar is cheat. It's not a cheat, but it's definitely cheap. So sugar has become quite cheap, right? It's a cheap source of energy. It's big business. There's a lot of advertising. It's delicious and addictive. technology in agriculture and food refinement. So remember, students, we talked about this, that in your planning, it's really important to come up with those really good ideas to help you write quickly. And we came up with the idea that sugar has become so popular because it's addictive, and technology allows us to refine sugar very effectively. So what's bad about it? What are the side effects? I can't remember which member used this. I think it was maybe Igul, but it's a really good word. So what are the side effects, the negative effects? And we learned that there are primarily two categories of negative outcomes. One is physiological, so for the body, and the other is behavioral, so the way that we act. All right, I'm glad, Begzod, that you're remembering this. That's great. Kisi, I'm not sure if you were here for this class, or Harminder, but don't worry, you'll catch up. This is just a refresher. So for physiological, for the body, diabetes and obesity are two of the big negatives. For our behavior, it's becoming lazy or becoming hyperactive, right? So those are big negatives. And then we talked about the solutions. So what are the solutions? We talked about creating a tax system, so taxing sugary products, making them more expensive, less desirable for the public, for consumers. And also information, so providing information about it to the public, the negative effects of sugar. And the government can put rules and regulations in place to restrict the sale of sugar in stores. Okay, anti-sugar campaign. So that's what we did. That's what we planned. Then we generated our thesis. In the thesis, we came up with this, and a lot of you had a great thesis statement. I really enjoyed your thesis statements. I remember you did a good job. The primary causes of over-consuming sugar are addiction and technology, which has led to both physiological and behavioral side effects. Some solutions demand government and individual attention. So we have a really clear thesis here from that planning, right? We explain right away to the reader that over-consuming sugar is caused by addiction and technology. So those are the main reasons. The negative outcomes or the side effects are physiological and behavioral. And the solutions are government and individual attention. Okay? Great. If you have, by the way, the document or the paper from this class last week, members, just open it up. Okay? All right. So here's the introduction. We finished that last class. That's where we ended. Let's go through it. How's the screen brightness right now, members? Is the screen bright enough, or is it too bright? A little bit darker? Can you read the letters on your phone or your tablet computer right now? Is that clear? Let me know. If it's not, I can fix it. So how is it? How's the lettering? Is it too bright or not bright enough? Okay, Bagzad says it's a bit bright. Sayed says it's bright as well. Okay, I'll darken it up a bit, no problem. How's that? If it's still not up to par or up to snuff, let me know. All right, so here we go. Let's read the introduction, and then we can get into the body paragraph. So introduction, we start with a hook. Again, when you're going for those nice high band scores in task 2, you should have 3 parts to your introduction. It should be nice and complete, all right? And this is also getting you ready for college and university studies. So here's the hook. The average person around the globe consumes 70 times as much sugar as our ancestors did only a century ago. Then we give some background information. Most foods eaten on a daily basis contain refined white sugar, which is added into products to make them more desirable. This overconsumption of sugar in society has a major impact on people. Good, so now we know what we're talking about, why it's important. And then the thesis. The primary causes of over-consuming sugar are addiction and technology. And this dietary change has led to both physiological and behavioral side effects. Some solutions demand government and individual attention. All right, Rahul, thanks for confirming that it's good. All right, yeah, we have some bright days coming up here in Central Europe, and I have a window in the studio here. I like to have natural light. So, as I explained to you, a good way to separate the body paragraphs here is first discuss the causes of overeating sugar. Okay, so what has caused this overeating of sugar? Members, why do you think I'm not doing a structure where it's cause and solution for body one? So why am I not doing it like this way here? Cause plus solution one. So body paragraph one. Body two is cause plus solution two. So why have I decided to not have this kind of a structure for these body paragraphs? Why am I going a little bit different direction? So why am I planning to do just body one on causes of overeating sugar and then body two on the side effects and solutions of overeating sugar? So why do you think that I've decided on this instead of this? It's an important question. What do you think? What's my logic? Yep, Syed, absolutely right. So I'm already reflecting that in my thesis statement. So that's a good reason. I mean, Syed, the reason I created the thesis statement in that way is because I decided to do it like this and not like this. So Begzad says because we give solutions to the side effects of sugar and not necessarily the causes. Yes, Begzad, you're on the right track, definitely. There's another way to explain it, but definitely what you wrote there is one way to explain it. This kind of structure, students, so where you have cause one, solution one, cause two, solution two for body one, body two, this is effective where the cause and the solution are very directly related to each other. Okay, so if you have a very strong direct relation to the cause and the solution, then you should put it into one body paragraph. But if they're indirectly related, so there's not a very strong connection between the cause and the solution, then you want to separate it into two body paragraphs. Okay, so maybe you remember an essay that we did weeks ago, months ago maybe even, where we talked about obesity. So what causes people to be overweight? So why are people overweight? So this is a little bit different. So cause of being overweight, cause number one is no exercise, right? Solution, go exercise. In this way, this could be body paragraph one, okay? So in this type of situation, you have a very direct relationship between the cause and the solution. So people are overweight because they don't exercise. What should they do? They should go exercise. It makes sense to write that into body paragraph one. What's another reason why people are overweight? Because they eat fatty foods. So eat fatty foods. What's the solution? Eat healthy foods. So in this case as well, it makes sense to make that into body paragraph two. So I would have body paragraph one, body paragraph two. There's a very direct relationship between the cause and the solution. But the cause and the solution to controlling sugar in society is not as directly related. Okay, does that make sense? So Begzad and Yersalim, the way that I have explained it is what you're saying, just from a different perspective. I just want to make sure that that makes sense for all of our viewers. So use your logical thinking, members. If there's a direct relation between the cause and the solution, then give a cause and a solution in one body paragraph and then another one in the second. If there isn't, then list the problems or causes in one paragraph and provide solutions in another paragraph. And that's what we're doing today. Okay? So let's then start writing this. Members, what's the first sentence for body paragraph 1? So what kind of sentence comes first? And I'm happy that that makes sense, Kisi, Begzod Yersalim. That's good. Okay. So what is the first sentence in my body paragraph 1? Let's start our composition. Okay. The goal is to finish this task 2 in this second class. So give me what we need. Yeah, it's a topic sentence. That's right, Siad. Good for you. So the topic sentence is taking the point for the body paragraph and defining it or paraphrasing it in another way. So the primary causes of consuming sugar are addiction and technology. Addiction and technology. So this is what needs to come into our topic sentence for body paragraph 1. Okay, so go ahead, members, create your topic sentence using the first element of the thesis, okay, which is the primary causes of over-consuming sugar are addiction and technology. Give me a sentence that I can use to open up my body paragraph 1 based on that part of the thesis statement. Okay, I'm going to do the same while you're composing. And then we'll compare and see how we square up. If you're on the same track as me or not. Okay. So here we go. All right. While I'm waiting for your topic sentences, members, here's mine. Over the past 100 years, opening with a time expression. So I'm going to follow that with a comma, of course. Over the past 100 years, sugar refineries have been built all over the world, and people's taste preferences have become partial to sweet flavors. Okay, so here all I'm doing is a nice definition and a deeper expansion or explanation of that topic sentence of technology and addiction. What is the technology? It's the sugar refineries. It's the factories where we gain sugars, refined sugars from sugar cane and other sources, sugar beets, sugar carrots, I believe as well. So have been built all over the world, and people's taste preferences have become partial to sweet flavors. People's taste preferences have become partial to sweet flavors means that we as a global society have become very in tune with sweet or sugary tastes, okay? Members, don't be shy. So if you've made a couple of mistakes or if it's not a perfect topic sentence, don't worry about it, okay? Just get it out there. All right. What comes after the topic sentence? So I want to keep moving. Even if you're writing and thinking about the topic sentence, that's okay. Let's just keep moving along. What comes after the topic sentence? What comes next? And hopefully, many of you right now are writing explanation. Yes, Syed, thank you. So it is the explanation that comes after. What should I pay attention to when writing a good explanation? That's right, Begzod. Okay, I see a couple of topic sentences now as well. That's great. Begzod says, since technology has enabled sugars to be transported. So Begzod, little correction, one more time. Since technology has enabled sugar to be transported all around the globe, and the taste of sugar has a psychological impact, many individuals consume more and more sugary foods over the last century. Yeah, Begzod, that's a good topic sentence. It's very similar to mine, just explained differently. Kisi says sugars are not only easy to find in food, but also exist in varieties because of technology. Yeah, Kisi, I see where you're going with that. Just careful not to go off topic. Remember, this paragraph is why is sugar so popular now around the world. So make sure that you stick to it. You're still there, Kisi. Just careful not to go off topic. Begzod says use some details and quantitative information in your explanation, and that's exactly right, Begzod. So you want to use quantitative and measurable information in your explanations. So let's give a little bit of explanation for the availability of sugar, okay, in quantitative terms and in ways that we can see and that we can measure. So this is how I would do it. Watch. And you can do this with me. So again, members, write your own explanation, write your own parts of the body paragraph. This is your chance to practice and get feedback from me. So here we go with the explanation. So these days, it is common for a person to buy groceries which are comprised of at least 50% sugar. This means that they purchase a kilo of white sugar for $5, as well as many products that contain sugars like chocolate bars, juice, and even bread. Okay, so I'm just rolling along here, and again, focusing on visible, measurable information. Okay, Rahul, good to see your contribution. Fantastic. Rahul says the addiction of white sugar leads to the over-consuming of countless delicious sweets and other edibles from the grocery. Rahul, you're very much in line with what I'm saying, so it's nice to see that parallel with our thinking. It means that we're on the right track. Syed says, with the advancement in industries and easy availability of sugars, consumption has been propelled to the overusage of sugar worldwide. Syed, that's good. I just added some words to make your information clearer. Okay. So here's my explanation. These days, it is common for a person to buy groceries which are comprised of at least 50% sugar. I don't need the word and the symbol. That's a mistake. It's better just to use the symbol in writing. Don't waste words and time writing that down. So 50% sugar. This means that they purchase a kilo of white sugar for $5, as well as many products that contain sugars like chocolate bars, juice, and even bread. And then I can continue. So I can continue with this visual explanation. And I can say, rather than the food over a couple of weeks, the individual or people often consume their groceries twice as fast as they should because of the addictive nature of sugar. Okay. Here's a vocabulary test for you, students. What's the missing word here? Okay. I'll darken the screen a little bit yet because the studio got brighter. So what word is missing here? Rather than something, the food, it's a verb. And this verb means to spread the food out over time. The food over a couple of weeks. People often consume their groceries twice as fast as they should because of the addictive nature of sugar. Okay. What's the missing word? It's a little bit of a thinking question for you members. What should go in there? So again, it means spreading out the food over time. It's one verb. It starts with an R. Give you a little bit more help. Meanwhile, I'll read some of the other explanations coming up. Begzad says, these days, most people can easily buy sugar-contained products. Begzad, order of words. These days, most people can easily buy products which contain sugar, such as chocolate and candies, in every store, and they usually eat close to 100 grams of sugar per day. Very good, Begzad. Nice explanation. I like it. Kisi says there are lots of candies and sweets in shops and in shopping centers. People are more likely to consume sugars than before because they're easily accessed. Moreover, it's not storing, Sied. The word starts with an R. It's not reserve. Again, it's when we spread an item out over time. So if I'm lost in the desert and I have a liter of water, I try to conserve the water and I drink maybe only 10 milliliters of water every 2 hours. So what am I doing with the water? The word starts with an R. Again, members, I'm trying to help you with your vocabulary as well as your overall skills for the IELTS writing section. The word that you're looking for is R-A-T. Anybody yet? The word is rationing, rationing your food. When you ration, it comes from the word ratio, right? 1 to 1, 1 to 2. So that's the root word, ratio. And the word is rationing, rationing. So rather than rationing the food over a couple of weeks, people often consume their groceries twice as fast as they should because of the addictive nature of sugar. All right, what comes after this sentence? So I have my topic, I have my explanation. What comes next? That's right, example. So give me some examples. What's important to include with the example? Good try, students. It's not refresh. So what comes with a good example? A good example should be visible, something that your reader can imagine is happening in real life, right? That's the key. So That's what you need to pay attention to. All right. So let's write an example. Okay. So should be visible, an actual occurrence. And for all of our viewers, again, remember that the IELTS Task 2 question in many cases will state, give explanations and examples from your own experience. So here you can see in the question, use examples and explanations from your own experience. When you see that, it means that in the body paragraph, you can give a sentence like, 2 weeks ago, I read in a newspaper, or last month, my cousin Tim did this. Okay, so you can use those kinds of life experiences because that's what the question's asking. On IELTS, you cannot use your phone or another device to research for information like in university or college, where you don't use first person, you don't use I, me, my. That's right, Rahul. So give vibrant examples from daily life. So something interesting, something that really proves your explanation. So give me some examples for the causes of over-consuming sugar for this paragraph. Okay? I know I can with my 3-year-old daughter. She loves screaming chocolate and candy when it's dinner time. So the example comes next. Okay, here we go. Just last month, when I got home with my groceries, I realized that I had bought at least kilogram of sugar, and within the week, my family had eaten what I thought would last at least 14 days. Okay, so there is my example. So just last month when I got home with my groceries, I realized that I had bought at least a kilogram of sugar, and within the week, my family had eaten what I thought would last at least 14 days. Probably a lot more than a kilogram. 5 kilograms, let's say. Okay, so I'm keeping my example simple here. And then I can finish this body paragraph with a connecting and concluding sentence. Okay. So I can say clearly, sugar is readily accessible and highly preferred by people. Okay, that would be my connecting and concluding sentence. So there's my full body paragraph 1. Okay, I'm going to go back now and read this. Yes, it's fairly long, but again, I'm practicing this at home. During the IELTS exam, I can condense this a bit, so you can practice condensing at home when you're finding your paragraphs running on too long. Also, students, don't forget I'm using size 16 font here, so it looks bigger than it really is. Okay, over the past 100 years, sugar refineries have been built all over the world, and people's taste preferences have become partial to sweet flavors. These days, it is common for a person to buy groceries which are comprised of at least 50% sugar. This means that they purchase a kilo of white sugar for $5, as well as many products that contain sugars like chocolate bars, juice, and even bread. Rather than rationing the food over a couple of weeks, people often consume their groceries twice as fast as they should because of the addictive nature of sugar. Just last month, when I got home with my groceries, I realized that I had bought at least 5 kilos of sugar, and within the week, my family had eaten what I thought would last at least 14 days. Clearly, sugar is readily accessible and highly preferred by people. Okay? That is a very clear body paragraph discussing the reasons why sugar is overconsumed in society these days. Okay? Begzod has an example. Let's take a look at that in the chat. So Begzod says, for example, my cousin Nick really loves to eat candies almost every day. Last week, he consumed around 1 kilo of sweets. Sure, good. Okay. Kisi says, when I went shopping with my friends, we had a 12-inch cheesecake, which contains at least half a kilo of sugar. Yeah, absolutely, Kisi. That's a good example. Sure. Yeah, 12-inch cheesecake. I love cheesecake, by the way, Kisi. It's true what they say. Sugar is addictive and it's easily accessible. Absolutely. Okay, so now we're ready for body paragraph 2, the side effects and the solutions. All right, members, write the topic sentence here. So write the topic sentence for body paragraph 2. And some members who are maybe still working on explanation or the example, just get it out. Don't worry. If you're a little bit behind, it's fine. I'll take a look at what you're writing. Rahul says, like last week, I went shopping. I went shopping in Spencer, where I bought sweets like chocolate bars, real juice, tea sugar, roughly for 2,000 rupees in the week. Yeah, Rahul, that's good. You have a little bit of syntax and grammar correction that's needed, but you have the right idea, okay? So just clarify what you're saying. Like last Sunday, I went to Spencer, where I bought sweets like chocolate bars, real juice, and tea sugar for around 2,000 rupees because I love these and I can't live without them. Okay, so show that sugar is addictive, Rahul, in your writing. All right, good. So again, topic sentence, so side effects and solutions. Okay. Okay, so there's my topic sentence. Unfortunately, it is evident that this massive intake of sugar has resulted in negative outcomes for both the body and mind. Sugary foods eventually get deposited as fat in the tissues, and as a result, many individuals around the world become obese. Okay. All right. So I'm going into my explanation here. So again, same structure as for body paragraph 1. So topic sentence, I draw the topic sentence from the thesis, and then I go into an explanation. Unfortunately, it is evident that this massive intake of sugar has resulted in negative outcomes for both the body and mind. So instead of using behavior and physiology, I'm using body and mind. So some good paraphrasing. Sugary foods are eventually deposited. Careful always to make corrections when you see mistakes in your writing when you're getting ready for IELTS, as fat in the tissues, and as a result, many individuals around the world become obese, right? Okay. In addition, young children are frequently being diagnosed as having hyperactivity disorders, which disrupt school and family life. Okay, so there it is. All right. I see some other topic sentences coming up. So Begzod says, as a result of having eaten too much sugar, brighten that up. Many people are suffering from diseases like diabetes and obesity. As well, it has a clear influence on human lifestyle. Yeah. Syed, according to statistics by state government of Karnataka in 2018, the average consumption of sugar has increased by 20% per household. That's good, Syed. That works as well. Okay, just note my corrections there. Kisi says, evidence shows that lots of people suffer from obesity and diabetes because of over-consuming sugar. Yeah, definitely. That's good. Okay. I can add that into my example. What you're saying with diabetes and with obesity, those are good examples, good explanations. I can use that in my example as well. So, for instance, my neighbor has a 14-year-old child who was recently diagnosed with type 2 diabetes and is always acting out in school. This is likely because his mom has given him too much sugar over the years. Okay, so there is a specific example, again, coming from my own knowledge or my own experience. And you can do this two ways. So you can take real life knowledge from your own experience that you have around you, like your family or your friends. You can also do it like Syed did, where you basically report false statistics. Just make sure that they're believable. Okay. Kisi says, evidence shows that lots of people suffer from obesity and diabetes because of the overconsumption of sugar. Kisi, instead of indirectly saying evidence shows, on the IELTS, you might as well give a false but direct evidence. So you should say something like the 2018 Beijing consensus shows that 10% of the population suffers from obesity and 15% from diabetes because of the overconsumption of sugar. Okay, so that will help to increase your band score, all right? To have it direct, they're not going to check if that's true or not. They'll believe you, okay? It's just a little bit clearer, a little bit better. Okay, hope that makes sense. Okay, now I'm not done yet. Hi, Rekha. Welcome to the class. I'm not done yet. Now I should make sure to include solutions. Okay, so nevertheless is a nice word to use when you switch to talking about solutions. Okay, so nevertheless, the dietary or the overconsumption of sugar can be remedied through strict government regulation. if the authorities were to impose a 50% tax on products that contain refined sugars, consumers may think twice before they purchase. Okay, so that is my solution to the situation. All right, so if the authorities were to impose a 50% on products that contain refined sugars, comma, because that's my dependent clause, and then here comes my independent clause, consumers may think twice before they purchase. Okay, also, governments need to invest more money into socially responsible advertising, which makes the public aware of the dangers of eating too much sugar. Okay, so that would be the solutions to this problem. Rahul says, excess of anything is always harmful. Similarly, overconsumption of white sugar brings not only diseases like obesity, but also has side effects on the individual's behavior. Rahul, that's good. Okay, that's a good explanation for that body paragraph. Just be careful with your grammar and the order of words. So notice my corrections there. Begzad says, therefore, millions of individuals are diagnosed and even die from sugar-related diseases. In addition, it makes people less active. It has proven that. Okay. Now, you're noticing probably that my essay is getting quite long, right, members? Let's see how many words I have so far, just for fun. What do you think is my word count here, all the way from the introduction, even if I minus, let's say, roughly 30 words for instructions? Okay, so even if I take away like 30 or 40 words for the instructions, I'm still at about 360 words. Now, I only have my conclusion left, but I'm 100 words over the minimum, which is starting to get a little bit long. Okay, why did that happen? So why is my essay becoming so lengthy? And I think many students, you won't be able to finish a 400-word essay in the 40 minutes, although you can, if you're very good in English, you can write 400 words for task 2. It's 250 words minimum, remember that, so at least 250 words. Most task 2 essays that are band 8 or higher are closer to 320, 330 words. But I'm already at about 360, 370 words, so it's getting quite long. Why is that happening, and what should I do? So this is a good question to you, members. Why is my essay getting so long, and what should I do in the future? What should I pay attention to for the exam so that I don't get myself into trouble? So Begzad says it's because this task 2 has 3 questions. Yeah, so there's a lot of information, right, Begzad? There's a lot of information. So if we go back to the original thesis, then we're starting to realize that this thesis may be too complicated and too detailed for 40 minutes at 200 words. So the thesis says the primary causes of over-consuming sugar are addiction and technology, which has led to both physiological and behavioral side effects. Some solutions demand governments and individuals' attention. So here, as I'm learning and preparing for the IELTS Task 2 exam, or part of the exam, I should realize that, okay, if I get a question like this, I have to be careful not to overcomplicate and not to set up too much information. What can I take out of my thesis to simplify it so that I'm closer to 300 words in my essay? Yeah, Rahul, around 300 words is good, right? Around 300 words is good. We don't want to write too many words because we want to focus on quality instead of quantity. Absolutely. It's super, super important. So, what should I do in the future? What can I take away? Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. So Syed says maybe just explain only one cause and one solution. Yeah. So I should maybe not talk about addiction. Maybe just focus on over consuming sugar because of technology, because of our ability to refine sugar. Instead of talking about both physiological and behavioral negative effects, maybe just talk about physiological, okay? And then you can talk about obesity and diabetes and take out behavioral, okay? So that will allow you to shorten up your essay, okay? A lot of times what happens is students try to include too many details like I just have, and then they either run out of time or their essay is very vague. Do you know what the word vague means? What does it mean that the essay is vague, if I say that? And it's not good to have a vague essay. Usually those essays do not score well. Okay, so if I were to rewrite this essay, I would just focus on technology, just focus on the physiological negatives, and then focus on those solutions. What does it mean to have a vague essay? Again, that happens when there's too many points in the essay. Okay, so after my body paragraph 2 comes the conclusion. Conclusion starts with main points restated. Yeah, Begzod, it's something like unclear. It's not detailed, so you're not going into depth. You're just listing a lot of points without giving a lot of depth to what you're saying. That's right, Marwa. Good to see you in class. So Marwa Kaabi, who just joined us, says you're giving a lot of information, so a wide range of information, but you're not going into detail. The high band essays that are band 7, 8, 9, those essays go into detail. They have really good explanations, really good examples. They don't just jump from one idea to the other. Okay? That's right, Kesey. No specifics, no details. And that is really important for high band scores. So here's our main points restated for this essay. I want to just finish this up now. So it is evident that the ability to extract sugar and depend on it lead to its overconsumption. Okay, argument restated. This results in detrimental outcomes to consumers, to people. Okay, and then a take-home message. So a message that the reader can gain from reading your essay. Okay? Begzad, that's a good question. So Begzad's saying, how should I structure the essay when I'm giving only one answer for each question. In this case, Begzod, I would structure it just the same. So I would talk about in body paragraph 1 how the advancements in technology have led to creating an excessive amount of sugar, which leads to its overconsumption. And then in body paragraph 2, I would talk about the physiological side effects leading to obesity and diabetes, and the solution being a true cost tax on products that contain refined sugars. So I would keep it the same, but it would allow me to shorten these body paragraphs so that I'm not at a 400 word count, but I'm closer to 300, 320 words. Okay, so I would structure it the same, Begzod, just with less information, more detail. Okay, so take home message. It is up to both society and individuals to tackle this dangerous global problem. Okay, I'm going to keep my conclusion fairly simple. So that is my essay, students. And that should get me a nice high mark. I have lots of details there. Again, it's a little bit long. It's a little bit on the long side because my thesis is overly complex. This is what you want to practice at home when you're practicing these task 2 essays, to have just the right thesis to reach about 300 words of high quality, detailed writing. Okay? And that takes practice. It's very tricky to formulate a thesis that's not leaving you in a situation where you can't write enough, or it's leaving you in a situation where you have to write too much. Okay? So make sure to practice this at home. It's a skill that you have to develop. Okay? Let's read this essay one more time, and then I will copy and paste this essay into the community bulletin for everybody to review in their own time. So the average person around the globe consumes 70 times as much sugar as our ancestors did only a century ago. Most foods eaten on a daily basis contain refined white sugar, which is added into products to make them more desirable. This overconsumption of sugar in society has a major impact on people. The primary causes of overconsuming sugar are addiction and technology, and this dietary change has led to both physiological and behavioral side effects. Some solutions demand government and individual attention. Over the past 100 years, sugar refineries have been built all over the world, and people's taste preferences have become partial to sweet flavors. These days, it is common for a person to buy groceries which are comprised of at least 50% sugar. This means they purchase a kilo of white sugar for $5, as well as many products that contain sugars like chocolate bars, juice, and even bread. Rather than rationing the food over a couple of weeks, people consume their groceries twice as fast as they should because of the addictive nature of sugar. Just last month, when I got home with my groceries, I realized that I had bought at least 5 kilograms of sugar, and within the week, my family had eaten what I thought would last at least 14 days. Clearly, sugar is readily accessible and highly preferred. Unfortunately, it is evident that this massive intake of sugar has resulted in negative outcomes for both the body and mind. Sugary foods eventually are deposited as fat in tissues, and as a result, many individuals around the world become obese. In addition, young children are frequently diagnosed as having hyperactivity disorders, which disrupt schools and family life. For instance, my neighbor's 14-year-old child, so again, I can simplify as well. My neighbor's 14-year-old child, who was recently diagnosed with type 2 diabetes, is always acting out in school. Okay, just making a couple of corrections here. This is likely because his mom has given him too much sugar over the years. Nevertheless, the overconsumption of sugar can be remedied through strict government regulation. If the authorities were to impose a 50% tax on products that contain refined sugars, consumers may think twice before they purchase. Also, governments need to invest more money into socially responsible advertising, which makes the public aware of the dangers of eating too much sugar. Conclusion: it is evident that the ability to extract sugar and depend on it leads to its overconsumption. This results in detrimental outcomes to people. It is up to both society and individuals to tackle this dangerous global problem. Okay, does that make sense, students? So is that clear? How I put together that essay and the steps I took to devise and construct a high band essay. Is that clear? Does that make sense? Okay, I'm happy. Great. All right, members. Again, tomorrow there will be another members chat class. Okay. That you can join same time, and then it will be followed by an everyone chat class. Everybody who's watching, in less than 30 minutes, we have a reading section for the IELTS exam coming up with example and explanation from our websites. Our websites look like this. For academic IELTS, go to aehelp.com, click that red button. For gieltshelp.com, go to this background here. With the green background, click that big red button to join there. And spend a couple dollars to save a lot so you don't have to sit the IELTS exam a second time. It's an expensive exam, so learning from free materials is great, but sometimes it's good to spend a couple dollars to have more structure and more focused feedback. All right. Tomorrow, the members chat class, Bagzad, will be speaking part 1. Okay, so speaking part 1. All right, students, have an awesome rest of your day. Hopefully, I'll see many of you in the next class for reading. I look forward to it. And it's been fun teaching you. For a lot of our viewers, become our member, reap the benefits, get lots of perks. And hopefully, we'll see you shortly. Bye for now. Have a great rest of your day.